Sec 1 Express, Textbook 1B, Exercise 10.1, Question 5, 6, 7, 9, and 13. Question number 5. The anthem of a sequence is given by this formula. Tn is negative 19n plus minus 3. Now, which term in the sequence has a value for negative 250? So this tells me the term over here, that anthem, will have a value of negative 250. That means Tn is now equals to negative 250. So I will use this in my formula directly. For part A, given that any term is given by this formula, and they want to find the term, right? So find n. So that means this is telling me the term is negative 250 equate to negative 19n minus 3. How can you solve this equation? So I'm going to keep negative 19n over here. I'll bring negative 3 over. So that will be negative 250 plus 3. And that gives me negative 247. How do I find one unit of n? So I take negative 247 divided by negative 19. That gives me n equals to 13. So which term in the sequence has a value of negative 250? Term 13. Or rather the 13th term. Okay, part B, is this a term, negative 34, in the whole sequence? How do I know whether is this in the sequence or not? Well, what we can do is we'll still equate this negative 344 to the formula negative 19n minus 3. So what is the only thing we can find here? We can only try to solve for the value of n. So let's try to solve for value of n. So I'm going to shift minus 3 over negative 344 plus 3. That gives me negative 341. And from here, what can we find n to be? We take negative 341 divided by negative 19. I got a number of 17.947 something something. Can I have a term that is 17.94? Can I have the 17.94 term? No, right? So since n is not an integer, therefore this term negative 344 is not a term in this sequence. Have you gotten the answer? Question number 6. Consider the following sequence. We have the first term to be 39, and then after which we notice that it drops by a certain number to become 37, and then 35, and then 33. This means I have a common difference of, I'm doing a subtraction of 2. I'm subtracting 2. So in order to find the general term Tn, we can use the first method, number 1. Tn is given by the formula taking a plus d bracket n minus 1. So in this case, the first term is the number 39. And now the difference is negative 2. So the difference is not plus d but minus 2 instead. And I multiply this negative 2 to n minus 1. Can we leave this as the final answer? No, so we need to expand and simplify. Be careful of the negative sign. Negative 2 times negative 1 will give you plus 2. And hence I got the number 41 minus 2n. Okay, so this will be the general term Tn. Then question C, part B, hence, that means I need to use this formula, right? Find the 18th term, term 18. That means when it's term 18, n will now become the number 18. So my formula will be 41 minus 2 times 18. And that gives me the answer 5. Have you gotten the answer? Question number 7. Express the anthem of the sequence. I have this sequence to take note of. I have 8. Wow, the number increased in a very large manner. Then after that it's 27. Then it's 64. And then now it's 125. Well, we have a little bit of number sense. Now we know that this is going to increase in a large number. We can think of 2 ways. Power form. So maybe like a perfect square or perfect cubes or whichever. So now what we notice down here, this is actually, 8 is actually 2 cubed. But this is term 1. This is 3 cubed. This is term 2. Make a guess. I have term 3. And this will be 4 cubed. Term 4, this is 5 cubed. What will be term 5? That will be 6 cubed. What will be term 100? That will be 101 cubed. So if I give you the anthem, you will have something cubed. Well, it's n plus 1 cubed. So in this case, we know the formula for t and term n will be n plus 1 whole thing cubed. Have you gotten the answer? Question number 9. In a sequence, they tell you that the first term is 17. Then each subsequent term is 4 more. 4 more means I'm going to add a 4, right? Then the previous term. What are the third and the 10th term? No, this tells us that I can actually use a formula. Tn will now be the first term is 17. I'm adding 4, n minus 1 time. So we can use this to help us to find term 3 and term 10. Either we can simplify this. It will be a good habit to simplify this. So 4n plus 4, that will give you 21 plus 4n. Minus 4 instead. So it's not 21. Minus 4 instead. That will give me 13 plus 4n. So I want term 3. That means n is equals to 3. So 4 times 3, 12. And then 12 plus 13. That gives you the term 25. Term 10. So that gives me 13 plus 4 times 10. And that is 40 plus 13 to give me the number 53. Have you gotten the answer? Question number 13. Each term in this sequence is found by multiplying the same number to the previous term. Find the values of A, B, and C. Well, we have in our sequence A, 1, B, C, and 3, 4, 3. I'm going to multiply something. So probably this will become like a power sequence. So I only have 2 numbers, 1 to 34. Let's say I'm multiplying by a K. I don't know, a number of terms. And then I times another K. And then I times K again to give me from 1 to 3, 4, 3. What does this tells me? This tells me 1 times K times K times K, which is actually K to the power of 3 times, will give you the number 343. Let's see, 1 times K cubed, so K cubed will be equals to 343. How do I find K? That means I'm going to take cube root of 343. That gives me cube root of 343, 7. That means I'm multiplying my terms by 7. So let's start with the first term A. A in this case will be the value taking from 1. So A multiplied by 7 to give you 1. So okay, let me form the equation. 7 times A to give you 1. So A will be 1 over 7. And then from 1 to get to B, B will be 1 times 7. That gives you the number 7. C will be 7 times 7. That gives you the number 49. So we have the following answers. Okay. Now, in this case, what do we know? How am I going to find a general formula before I do part B? We have the sequence 1 over 7, 1. Then followed by the next few terms are all 7. What do you notice about 7? 49 and 343. Well, all these numbers here are and onwards, the next few terms will all be multiple of 7. Now, they ask us to explain why 2020 is not a term of this sequence. If it's going to be next few terms of this sequence, it will be a multiple of 7. So what do we need to do? We'll check 2020 divided by 7 gives you the number 288.57, right? So since in that case 2020 is not a multiple of 7, it cannot be a term in this sequence. Now that's the simpler version of the answer. We have come to the end of this part of our homework. We'll review and do the other exercises the next lesson. See ya!